The latest here on Wanda and how the mighty have fallen, I guess.
Well, Wanda right now is in a crisis, and Wang Jianlin's distress kind of highlights how the good old days for Chinese property billionaires are over. Wang Jianlin has always been in a position of defense ever since Xi Jinping started cracking down, hiding this crackdown on Chinese tycoons. But I would say their troubles really began around March, April this year when the CSRC, the Chinese securities watchdog, sent this letter of inquiry to the company asking them what they would do and how would they cope with this repayment obligation to pre-IPO investors for 30 billion yuan if they fail to list their shopping mall unit by the end of this year. And as of now, the company has not managed to pass its application. Its application to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange has lapsed for a third time already. Part of the reason for this impediment is because the CSRC has a lot of questions about the company, and they're asking for more information about their internal management and also updates on financials.
Well, exactly, financials, and they turn to some of the smaller banks here as well. So, what are Wang Jianlin and the company actually doing then, Lulu?
Well, Wang Jianlin's kind of one of the remaining billionaires fighting on the front lines. He's handling negotiations with creditors, investors, banks, himself personally, while his lieutenants crisscross across the country to negotiate for extensions on payments for banks and also trust funds and creditors. The company is facing billions in repayments for bonds and also debt. Also, apart from that, they need to convince the CSRC to give them a green light if they were to list the shopping mall unit, which is kind of like a crown jewel for their operations, especially since they cut back on their global ambitions, cutting back on some of the overseas assets, including their AMC cinema. At one point, they were the largest cinema operator in the world, and now they're cutting back on tourism, on theme parks, and really focusing on the management of those shopping malls.
Yeah, and so if Wang can't even weather this, I guess it just clearly shows that the troubles around the property sector are not quite done.
It is more of a symbolic issue because Wang was one of the last remaining billionaires, and right now you can see that this wave of distress and default is really engulfing every one of these tycoons who are still last standing. Even with the property measures that China issued last year in November, the sweeping basket of property support, it's not enough to sustain a rebound. The market is once again fizzling out, and we're seeing those signs of weakness come through in the April and May figures already.